Hi you guys, I'm Aksha. I'm a content developer at Base of Mind, and this is Ritika.
Hello, I'm Ritika. I'm from Basin Mind and I'm a psychologist here. And today,
Yeah.
Aksha will tell us what we're going to do.
Yeah, and today we're gonna be answering. Ritika is gonna be answering some of the most commonly asked questions on Quora, and one of which is also my most favorite, or something that I wanted to ask from a long time to a psychologist. So, and it is, how can I gain confidence and reduce the self-doubt? Basically, when I'm around people, and it happens all the time, especially at work, when you
Right.
kind of pitch in something and you want it so much. How do I gain that confidence?
Yeah. So first of all, the two aspects that your question contained was about self-doubt and confidence. Right?
Yeah.
These are very closely related. Like
Okay.
one thing affects the other. Obviously, if like your self-doubt is more, your confidence is less. So how we can handle this is, if we were to address just the self-doubt, then confidence will automatically increase. So I will
Okay.
be telling you a few things on how you could reduce your self-doubt.
Okay.
So first of all is by setting realistic goals.
Mm-hmm.
Usually what happens is, when you set really difficult goals, it's hard for you to attain, and when that happens, you correlate it to you being a failure, or you
Yeah.
being not good enough.
Exactly.
So for that not to happen, setting realistic goals is one of the very important things that you could consider.
Yeah.
And-
Especially like at the moment you're so excited and you think so
Yeah,
much ahead,
yeah.
and when you start doing it, it falls back, and
Yeah.
you're trying it, and you're totally judging yourself.
Right,
It happens
right.
very common now.
Yeah, that's good. That coming to the next point,
Mm-hmm.
adding to what you just said, planning and executing.
Okay.
So you plan, and your execution need to be well planned, like well put out, right? Like you
Okay.
should have very concrete plan and a good way to execute it. Because if you're just setting realistic goals and not doing anything about it, it'll still affect your self-doubt or your
True.
self-confidence.
Yeah.
So having concrete plan and executing it is equally important.
Okay.
Once you've executed this plan, finding validation within is another thing that's like very important. Because if at the end of the day you're doing all of this progress for yourself and you're seeking this validation from the world outside, and if the world isn't kind to you, sadly, then you
Yeah.
will again fall back into the same loop of self-doubt.
Okay.
So finding validation within you,
Okay.
having your own journal, and having maybe marking down the milestones. Like,
Yeah.
on this day, this is what I did, and then celebrating each of the small steps that you're taking towards your goals.
Yeah.
That's something that'll like show you that you've come some way. Like
Yeah.
maybe not a long way,
Yeah.
but you've come. At least you've taken the baby steps,
I
right?
know, it's true. It actually sounds a lot easier, but then when you do
Yeah.
it, especially with the last point that you
Yeah.
said with validation,
Yeah.
I think it's very normal for us to
Very normal.
yeah, feel get some sort of a reaction or some sort of comment from others when we do
Right.
something, especially at work.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, I think that's easier said than done.
Yeah,
like you see,
very
but-
much.
Yeah. At the same time, it's very important for you to realize that these are the struggles you're not voicing out, right?
Mm.
So these should also be the successes that you're enjoying by yourself.
Yeah, true.
The other people do not know what you're going through, so you should be the first person to like appreciate yourself
Okay.
and seek that validation from yourself, and then maybe others will start noticing it too.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's one thing you could do. And yeah, another very important thing is looking at setbacks as something temporary. That's a
Okay.
very important perspective or a mindset that a person needs to maintain.
Yeah.
Because when you face a setback, and if you're going to think that's the end of your plan or
I
your
know.
journey or
Yeah.
your goal, that's a very sad thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
To just have the perspective of thinking, okay, setbacks are temporary, and being aware of the fact that you will face many more setbacks in the future. This is not going to be the last one. And
Yeah.
just acknowledging these setbacks is something that will only make you better at what you're doing.
Okay.
Is something that can help you as well. Just a perspective towards setbacks in general. And one last tip that I'd give you would be to not get caught up in the self-comparison cycle.
Okay.
Like you're comparing yourself to others constantly, so that would only put you down, because all of us have our own personal goals, right? And comparing will only put you down. And you should also realize that you're your biggest critic. Nobody is thinking or criticizing you as much as you are. So taking yourself not so seriously is also a very important factor in like reducing self-doubt. If you messed up once, it's okay. People are not gonna, blame you constantly for it. But it'll rather be you that's beating yourself up.
Exactly.
So take it easy. Try not to beat yourself up that much.
Okay, moving on to our next question. It is, what book would you recommend to improve our daily life?
Okay, so this
psychology book, I mean, of course.
Yeah. Okay, the books that I can suggest are not entirely psychology, but they have a scientific and a psychology base to it. So there's this book called Ikigai, which speaks about how to find purpose in life and how to find meaning in life. There's another book called Man's Search for Meaning, that is also the same genre, where a person, how to find meaning, how to be happy, or things like that. And these are the top two books that I'm recommending, because the situation we are in, the pandemic, considering the pandemic and everything, I think it's important for us to look at the bigger picture, to look at this is something that will pass. And the book has really great insight. So these two books, and the third one will be a book called Atomic Habits, which talks about how you can change small habits and it'll all add to like a huge change in your life. It will bring about a drastic change in your life. So that's another book that I suggest. So these are the top three books.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna check it out. Okay, so how do I see the positive side of a negative situation? I mean, should I even be, looking for a positive side, or should I just take it as it is and move on?
Okay, so what we are trying to rewire here is your perspective towards things, right? So I will give you a little bit of like a neuroscience hack or something. So optimism is linked to better immunity, better cardiovascular health and all of that. So like you said, you should be looking at the positive side of everything. It is very good to be realistic, look at things the way they are, but also trying to find the positives in every situation is a very good thing, and it has very concrete health benefits, physically as well. So one of the neuroscience hack that I was talking about is that optimism is related to the left side activity of the brain. So stimulating a lot of the left brain activities, that's creativity, logical thinking, and watching thriller movies, amusing movies rather than the tragic ones, is said to improve your left brain activity, which is highly correlated to optimistic thinking. So that's something you could try.
I'm definitely gonna do thriller movies, and there's a beneficial way of it.
Now you have all the more reasons to watch.
Exactly. Not that I need any, but sure.
And another thing that you could try is this activity called positive lens. When you find yourself only looking at the negatives in a situation, you could just pause for a moment, think you are putting on positive lens, and then just try to analyze all the positives you can find in a situation. That's something.
Cool.
That's something you could try as well.
The positive lens. Okay, so our next question is, what small habits can I use to make me feel good
in life?
In life.
Okay. So I'll give you like top 3 things that you can do without much effort. And all of them are fun. So the first one is listen to more upbeat music, and try to do it before you go to sleep or during the start of the day.
Okay.
So again, another neuroscience thing is that upbeat music is correlated to more neuroplasticity, which
Okay,
is
what's
basically
that?
music helps you generate more number of no like what do we call it? Sorry, more signals, nervous signals. Okay, so that helps you in being more open to learning new information, being open to new experiences.
Okay.
So upbeat music is correlated to neuroplasticity, which will help you accommodate more information, assimilate more information and experiences and stuff like that. So you should be listening to more upbeat music.
Okay, that's
And
cool.
then having dark chocolate.
Oh wow, that is
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
something that helps in mood regulation.
Uh-huh.
It is also seen as a natural antidepressant. Preferably, these chocolates are less in sugar
Okay.
because sugar has adverse health effects. But having dark chocolate has very good benefits. So you could
Okay.
add that into your habit or your routine.
Okay.
And the third one is getting sunlight. I know it's
Mhm.
very hard in some places to find sunlight during this time of the year,
Exactly. Yeah.
but as much as you can, whenever
Mhm.
you can, try to get sunlight because we have something called the circadian rhythm,
Okay.
which is affected a lot by sunlight, and it also is a major cause for seasonal affective disorder that usually comes around these months. So if you are exposed to a good amount of sunlight, your chances of having low moods or being depressed are very low.
Oh, that's really
So
cool.
these are the 3 habits I like it if you could imbibe into your lifestyle.
Yeah. Okay. And no wonder I close all the blinds in my room when I'm feeling low. It makes me
Yeah.
feel more low.
Yeah, that's a good correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So our last question is gonna be, what's the psychology of, okay, this person asked, what's the psychology of a person who is always confident, and how did that person become like that? How can I become like that person?
Oh, okay. That's a really nice question. So the first one would be positive visualization. Okay. So so something people usually don't know about positive visualization is that it has neurological effect as well. So let me explain it to you. So when you shut your eyes and you are actually visualizing every small detail of a situation, your brain experiences this whole visualization process as the same thing as reality.
Okay.
So that's how your brain is processing everything. So when you're positively visualizing your day, your month, your week, or a year, your brain is going to process everything in that way as well. So you have a positive outlook towards life already.
Okay.
Your brain is already ready to receive it. So
Okay.
that's one thing people usually that are confident do. They don't
Okay.
base their life or their experiences on negative experiences, right?
Okay.
They look for positive things from the start.
Okay.
And the second thing that confident people might be doing is that they don't base their success on outcomes.
Okay.
It's more path driven, it's more of a process driven thing.
Oh,
So
that's true.
they enjoy the process and they enjoy all the little things that they learn throughout the process more than the outcome itself.
Okay.
That way they know that they're learning, and
Yeah.
even if they fail the task, they know that they've learned.
Okay.
So that doesn't put them down.
Okay.
That's something you could imbibe as well.
Yeah, that's actually very new because we're
Yeah.
so hung up on the outcome.
Outcome, yeah.
And if it goes good, cool, we're so excited about it. And if it goes bad, we're like, yeah.
The dependence on the outcome is what sets them apart in a way. So they don't depend on how the outcome is.
Okay.
You can try that.
Yeah.
And the third thing would be constantly upskilling.
Okay.
Like, so confident people never think they know it all. They never think they're good at everything they do. They're always aware of the fact that there's more to learn, there's more to do.
Okay.
So that's one important skill that most of us should have.
Okay.
And yeah, the fourth one is execution and planning. I think we mentioned this in the first
question,
answer as well. Yeah. So it's very important that you not only set realistic goals and plan, but you execute what you're doing, what you've planned, right? Because I've seen so many people who write affirmations, who say their affirmations out loud, but they don't put it in action.
Yeah.
So how are these things going to be manifested if they're not actually going to be put in action, right? So taking action is something that's very important. Like, let's say if you're low on confidence in public speaking, okay, you're going to set realistic goals that you'll first talk in front of maybe your family. If you're only planning it and not actually putting it into action, you're not going to reach your goal. So yeah, executing things is very important. So yeah.
So yeah, that'll be it. And if you guys have more questions, you can write it down in the comments below, or you can email us at info@paceofmind.com, or you can go to our Quora page, Paceofmind page on Quora, and you can request an answer to the questions. So thank you for watching, and if you liked it, give a like and subscribe to our channel for more content.
Bye bye.